What is up, you guys? It's Sussan Mourad here with Clevver News. And after the unanimous agreement that Lea Michele basically made all of Hollywood's on-set experiences a nightmare, she's now forced to pick up the pieces and face the damage she caused. Fans of the hit musical comedy drama Glee were surprised and saddened to find out what happened on the show's set wasn't exactly all that it led viewers to believe. It all started last week when Samantha Ware put the show's lead actress Lea Michele on blast after she tweeted in support of Black Lives Matter and the murder of George Floyd. Samantha responded to Lea's tweet writing, "LMAO, remember when you made my first television gig a living hell? 'Cause I'll never forget. I believe you told everyone that if you had the opportunity, you would in my wig, amongst other traumatic microaggressions that made me question a career in Hollywood." Come to find out, anyone who's worked with Lea on any TV show or movie seemed to have very similar opinions about Hollywood's resident Regina George.
Evil takes a human form in Regina George. Your typical selfish, backstabbing, faced hoe bag.
The backlash has become so intense and widespread that since Lea's first public apology, which was also met with its share of criticism, Lea has reportedly been battling the damaging headlines about her behavior and has been spending the last few days trying to make amends. A friend of Lea's revealed to the Post, saying, quote, "She's had a real wake-up call. It's never easy to hear people speak about you this way. It's a total shock." Another industry source who has previously worked with Lea also stated that Lea was a to a lot of people who are now taking the opportunity to come forward. She may not be the nicest person, but she's not racist, sexist, or transphobic. I would say she has behavioral issues that she's dealing with. Although these allegations aren't exactly an easy pill to swallow, the source added that Lea is emotional and that there have been a lot of tears. They said, "It's a lot of stress. Sets are volatile places, but there's no excuses for her behavior and she knows that. She is listening. She hears what everyone says and wants to apologize. This is her past and she wants to handle things responsibly." Lea, who is currently 7 months pregnant, is reportedly using her resting time while at home with her husband Zandy Rich to actually speak with her former co-stars and make amends. Another source who worked with Lea explained that she is doing the necessary work to learn about the negative things she allegedly said. The source claimed that she is using this controversy as an opportunity to reflect on the many instances where she was actually horrible to work with. It seems Lea has a lot of apologizing to do, which is clearly the first step. However, her reputation is very well known among all of Hollywood. From former Glee regulars, including Heather Morris and Amber Riley, to some not-so-regulars and extras, everyone seemed to have their own negative experiences of working with her. Extras would be ignored, and if they were sitting in the wrong place, according to Lea, she would have producers tell them they needed to leave. Some people might have even picked up on the red flags when Glee co-star Naya Rivera, who played Santana Lopez, released her memoir in 2016 called Sorry, Not Sorry, Dreams, Mistakes, and Growing Up. She wrote about her experience working with Lea, saying, quote, "As Santana moved from a background character to one with bigger plot lines and more screen time, Lea didn't like sharing the spotlight. It got to the point where she didn't say a word to me for all of season 6. In another surprising turn of events, Lea's former ragtime understudy Elisabeth Eldritch revealed that she was just as horrible back in 1998 as she was in 2009. Elizabeth spoke out further on Lea's behavior in a tweet, adding, "She was absolutely awful to me and the ensemble. She demeaned the crew and threatened to have people fired if she was in any way displeased. I used to cry every night from the mean and manipulative things she would do. She was 12. She was terrifying." The accusations became so damaging that Lea was also dropped from her HelloFresh sponsorship following the backlash. However, there were a few of Lea's co-stars who have come to her defense, including Glee creator Ryan Murphy, who even married Lea and Zandy last year. She is said to be a favorite of Ryan's, and he opened up about what went down on set, saying, "Glee was just a storm of difficulty, largely because what do you do when you're 18 years old or 19 years old and you wake up one day and you're world famous?" He added, "There were many boys on our show that didn't get along, and you never hear about that. You never hear about that in our culture." Iqbal Tabor, who played Principal Figgins on Glee, also came forward via Twitter to respond to questions about whether he'd been mistreated by Lea. He said, "A lot of people are assuming that Lea mistreated me. Let me state it clearly that I was never mistreated by her. And if some of the cast were treated badly, then she has apologized for it, which is wonderful. But being called a racist is too heavy and unfair a burden for most of us, especially in these troubled times. So please be compassionate, careful, and responsible before we accuse anyone of this horrible thing called racism. I love each and every one of my fellow cast members from our great show. Be safe and be well. Much love." Lea is now forced to do some major damage control after negatively affecting many of her castmates, so we can only hope she's able to take full responsibility for her past actions and use this time to really reflect and mature. And for all the details on Lea's previous apology and what her co-stars are still saying about her, click right over here for another Clevver video. And be sure to let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section if you think Lea is really trying to make amends or if you think it's too late and the damage is done. I'm your host, Sussan Mourad. I'll catch you later. Bye guys.